What happens when America's favorite paranormal podcast host finds himself trapped in a haunted hotel? And then we take a look at the story of a young boy who needs to use the restroom, a minor inconvenience for most of us. But this young man's path is blocked by a mysterious, glowing hand. Today on Dead Rabbit Radio. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dead Rabbit Radio. I'm your host, Jason Carpenter. I'm having a great day. I hope you guys are having a great day too. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys had fun on my break. I had a ball. I was just hanging out doing nothing for quite a while. But I hope you guys had fun too. I hope you guys were out doing some cool stuff, just relaxing. I don't know, what I was doing. That's all I was doing. I hope you were doing it too. But someone who never relaxes, someone who's working hard, no matter the time of day. Everyone get on your feet and give it up for our newest show supporter, Bobby Carpenter. Woohoo, yeah, yeah, he's all dancing on in while he's working, doing extra work in Dead Rabbit Radio Command. Bobby Carpenter, lifelong friend. We have the same last name. I'm sure you guys can guess that he is related to me, a new convert to the Fluffle, a mega fan of Dead Rabbit Radio, gladly getting the word out. He bought a shirt. He's been spreading the word. So, Bobby, that's why you're going to be our captain, our pilot this episode. If you guys can't support the show financially, you can do what Bobby does. Not be related to me. That might be a little more difficult. But instead of that, spread the word about Dead Rabbit Radio. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone you know. Dead Rabbit Radio is your favorite paranormal show. If you can't afford to buy a shirt, make a shirt. That actually might be a little more expensive. You're all sewing it together. You're like, I don't know if this is what Jason meant. Just grab a white t-shirt and write Dead Rabbit Radio on it with a big Sharpie. You look like a lunatic walking around, you going to work. They're like, I don't think that's our dress code. I don't think we allow Sharpie shirts at work. But yeah, just get the word out. Tell your friends, tell your family. It's really an awesome way to help the show grow. Bobby, let's go ahead and start this party off. I'm going to toss you the keys. Let's go classic. We're back from the break. Bobby, I'm going to toss you the keys to the Jason Jalopy. Everyone climb on board this rickety old chitty chitty bang bang car as Bobby fires it up and takes us out of Dead Rabbit Radio Command all the way to Sacramento. Nice leisurely trip out to Sacramento. That's where I took my break. I go to California probably once a year. And I go and I hang out with my family, try to see some friends. That's, hit or miss a lot of the times, right? But I head on down to Sacramento. Also, as we're driving out there, I want to say this too. I don't think I've announced this on the show yet. If you live in the Montana area, it's a giant state, right? If you live somewhere in that state, I don't know where this is specifically taking place, but in Bozeman, Montana, I will be doing a convention there, but I'll be video. It'll be like a video of me. It'll be like a pre-recorded. It's like one of those propaganda videos from 1984. No, it's going to be like a live video feed. What do you guys call it? Zoom? I'm going to zoom in to this conference. So if you guys want to see me, if you guys want to see a big video head of me talking to you, head out to there's others. You're like, wow, Jason, it sounds like a great conference. It's just you yelling for 3 days straight. No, the Big Sky Paranormal Conference. I really recommend you guys attending these paranormal conferences. Whether or not I'm involved, look for these groups that are near you. Look for these ghost hunting clubs, paranormal investigators, and especially these conventions, because it just adds a whole new layer to the fun that we have. Like, I love going to these conventions, and I want you guys to go too, whether or not I'm there. Because a lot of times we don't get the sense of community with this topic, but this allows that. You're meeting other people, and you're hanging out with other people who really, really love the paranormal. And it's totally awesome. So, Big Sky Paranormal Conference, that is taking place on September 28th and September 29th. I will be speaking, my head will be appearing in the Cova Light Theater on September 28th at 1 p.m. I'll be doing a presentation on the paranormal. I'm also doing it at the same time as Jim Harold. He's in a different building, And he's a way bigger podcast than me. So if you guys show up and you see my head, I appreciate it. If you guys are at Jim Harold's, I totally understand. He's a way bigger podcast. He's had a show on since 2009, a true professional. But anyways, Big Sky Paranormal. I'll put the links in the show notes. If you're in the area, check it out. Even if you don't see my giant head floating around, check it out, because I think you guys would really get a ball out of this type of stuff. Big Sky Paranormal Conference, put on by Bozeman Paranormal. So we're headed all the way out to Sacramento. Let's get the episode started. Bobby's driving us down to Sacramento. The way that it was set up this time, normally I go down and I hang out with my mom for a couple weeks. We watch a bunch of movies, and I go home. See family, see friends if we can. Me and my mom, we watch all sorts of crazy movies. Like this year we watched Meth, Gator, and Monster Grizzly, and Alien Romulus, right? We watch other movies as well, movies you've heard of. We went and saw Twisters, but, we just watch a bunch of movies. We watched the new Monk movie. We're big fans of Monk, and he had a movie. So anyways, that's normally what I do. I stay with my mom, I watch movies, and I visit family and friends. But this time, because we had so many relatives in the area at the time, and I'm not really one who likes to wake up and fall asleep in a house full of people, I opted to get a hotel room. I opted to go visit my family and be like, I'll see you guys later. It's 6 p.m. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat some McDonald's. I'm going to chill out in this hotel room. So for the first 2 weeks, when everyone was kind of visiting and stuff, I said, I'm going to get a hotel room for 2 weeks. I'm just going to chill. I'll visit you guys every other day. Rest of the time, just be kicking back. I stayed at a place called Hawthorne Suites by Wyndham Rancho Cordova, Folsom. That's the area it's in. If you're a paranormal investigator, you might want to check it out. Because at the end of the day, this story is going to highlight some of the things that are interesting about being a paranormal investigator and some of the choices that we have to make. I stayed at this hotel room, like I said, for about 2 weeks. I was in room 307. Staff was great. Hotel room was great. The area was fine. I'm used to that area. There's a lot of homeless people walking around, but less than there used to be. So it was a little bit safer. I'm in my hotel room. Most of the time I was playing Minecraft and watching YouTube videos. I did this, every other day. And then sometimes I'd be hanging out with my family. We'd go out to lunch or go out to dinner or something like that. And then I'd be like, see ya. And I'd go back to my hotel room. Watch YouTube videos and play Minecraft. Now, we've talked about this before on the show. Generally, what I watch on YouTube is I'll watch a lot of people play video games. I'll watch other people play Minecraft while I'm playing Minecraft. That's very confusing. I'm like, oh, there's a creeper nearby. But it's the guy playing it that has a creeper chasing him. Sometimes I'll watch a bunch of videos like that. Sometimes I'll just have music playing on YouTube. Sometimes I'll watch videos about, I watch a lot of videos on Magic the Gathering. I watch a lot of Pawn Stars. Stuff that if anyone asked me later on that day, hey, what'd you do? What'd you watch on YouTube? I go, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. At a certain point, it's white noise. But I also, from time to time, you have to do this in small doses. From time to time, I will watch videos of pedophiles being tricked into meeting adults. As in, the adults are the police, right? Or vigilantes. I'll watch these videos, and there's hundreds of these. Usually YouTube will let the channel go on for a while, and then they'll purge it, and then the channel goes to Rumble, different video streaming service. But I'll watch these videos from time to time, and it'll be some dude, some guy who's 40, 50, 60 years old, chatting with a kid, and then the pred poachers, or the pred hunters, or the predator patrol, whatever name they go by, will say, hey, let's meet up at the local Walmart. And then the video starts, basically. These guys are coming in with these cameras into the local Walmart, and they catch some dude who's hanging out back in the electronics department, and they're like, hey, you're a pedophile, Jason, how much entertainment value can you get from that? There is a bit of entertainment value from the sense of vigilantism, right? I think that does kind of speak to our core justice-seeking center, but I admit, I admit it is a weird mix when you're watching Minecraft videos, Magic the Gathering videos, and then that. And what's interesting is because of the nature of entertainment, because of the nature of quote-unquote ratings in the television world, or likes, and making money, getting more subscribers in the digital world, people have to up the ante. These pred patrols have to constantly up the ante, and there's only so much you can do. Some of these predator patroller, predator poacher guys will beat up the pedophile. That's illegal. You can't just walk and beat people up. Those groups usually get dissolved pretty quickly. But that does happen. The other interesting wrinkle that's been happening in this YouTube Rumble ecosphere is that, and I've seen this multiple times, the predator hunters will make the pedophile call their own wife and admit that they're a pedophile on camera to the wife.
I was going to meet up with what I thought was 18 or 19-year-old boy.
Tell the truth.
He's 14.
What?
And
Got caught.
And I got caught.
Hello, ma'am. Hello?
Hey, Deb.
Dave?
Okay, hold on.
Hey, Deb, this is Tommy with Colorado Pet Patrol. I'm here in Broomfield, Colorado with your husband. He attempted to pick up a 14-year-old who he knew was 14 to bring back to his hotel for sex. And we are here with him now. Yeah, and I apologize to tell you, he didn't want to call you, but we wanted you to know. He clearly knew it was a 14-year-old. This is our 267th catch. And he's here at the Walmart to pick up the 14-year-old boy.
What?
I'm sorry.
What? This can't be real.
I'll be honest, I don't know what to think about that. I watch a bunch of those videos, and each time you're like, oh my god. Now, anyone who's ever used YouTube for any amount of time knows how this works. You start watching a video, you're engaged long enough, it's going to start recommending you more of those videos. I'm sitting in this hotel room in Sacramento. I've been there for about a week at this point, maybe a little bit longer. Staying up late at night, going to bed about 3 in the morning, waking up at 8, 9. 8, actually, because I wanted the free breakfast. I was waking up at 8. Nice, comfy hotel room. Never, ever, ever felt creeped out or scared. In fact, I slept with all of the lights off. I'm a big boy now. I can sleep with all of the lights off. Even in my own place, I generally have some light coming in. If it's not outdoor light, then there's something on. I don't really like sleeping in the pitch black. But this hotel room was very inviting. One of the most comfortable beds I've slept in recent memory. It was great. But I was up late this night. I was playing Minecraft. I was watching video after video of these predator hunters confronting pedophiles. And I'm sitting there. My back's basically to the rest of the room. I'm sitting at this desk against the wall. My back's to the bed. My back's to the bathroom area. I'm just sitting there and I'm playing Minecraft and I'm watching these videos over and over. Not the same video, but they just keep moving on to different videos. I'm clicking on, I was like, oh, that one looks crazy. Click on that one. And for the first time since I walked into that hotel room, I felt uneasy. For the very first time in that hotel room, I did not feel alone. I think it would be going too far to say I did not feel safe, but I did not feel welcome. I'm sitting there playing Minecraft and I pick up on this sensation that somebody, for lack of a better word, obviously there wasn't another person on there, but some entity, some thing had walked out of the bathroom area. I got this clear impression of this. I didn't see anything. But I felt like something moved out of the bathroom area, which is over by the bed. There's that, it's a hotel room, so there's like that little hutch area where you can hang everything up. Something walked out of that bathroom area and walked through the room and stood just outside of my field of vision on my left-hand side. If this had happened the first night, I'd be like, Jason, you're just creeped out because you're not in a place that you're used to. This happened long after I'd been there, late at night, drinking all sorts of caffeine, eating all sorts of junk food, playing video games, watching YouTube. I never had a problem. Never had a problem. But this night, where I was watching all of these videos, I felt this person enter my area. And for the first time being there, which this is unusual for me, because I'm usually very paranoid, but I felt welcome in this place. I was like, this is going to be my hotel room for the next 2 weeks, and I felt really welcome there. Great night's sleep. For the first time, I found myself slowly turning to my head to see if there was anything standing behind me. For context's sake, I do that at my place. I'll get a creepy feeling and I'll kind of turn and look and there'll be nothing there. I'll do that at work. I'll do that when I'm out walking. It's a sense of constantly feeling threatened. It's a byproduct of anxiety, really. And also, being a paranormal researcher doesn't really calm those things down. But here I was in a place that I'd felt welcome this whole time, and for the first time, I felt unwelcome. Now, it wasn't me. It was the videos. I clearly felt that what this was did not like what I was watching. So much so that after me being there for days and days and days, this was the first time it manifested and made its presence known. It did not like what I was watching. There was nothing there, but I felt it. And I turned back to my computer and I kept doing what I was doing. And this is where people can go. These are some interesting discussions to have about the paranormal, what a paranormal investigator can and should do. I did not shut off the YouTube videos. Because as a rule, there's exceptions to this rule, obviously, but as a rule, I do not like or let the world of the paranormal influence my decisions in like a situation like that. Obviously, if I'm driving a car and a guardian angel shows up, she's like, stop the car, the bridge is out. I'm not going to say, like, listen, lady, Jason drives where Jason drives. And just, like, she's a bunch of feathers go flying in every direction as I run her over. Obviously, there are distinctions. But in this moment, I felt that I was not alone in the room. I felt like there was a presence there. I felt that it was human. I did not know if it was a ghost, quote-unquote ghost, as in the spirit of a dead person, or some sort of emotional energy left behind by some traumatic event. Because, God, I mean, let's be honest. Like, what this thing was connected to the content of those videos. Because even, I said I watched Pawn Stars and Magic the Gathering card stuff and Minecraft. It's not saying that I always watch, like, Rose's, fun, good stuff. I do watch a lot of true crime, actually. I kind of blanked on that. I watch a lot of true crime documentaries, people getting murdered, these videos of people not getting murdered in the videos, but I'll watch these true crime channels. I'll put a couple in the show notes. There's a lot of really good ones out that are coming out now, newer ones. But yeah, I'll watch these true crime documentaries, and they will show, like, photographs of the crime scene. You'll hear about, parents being beaten to death with a baseball bat by their children, all sorts of stuff. Parents throwing their kids off of a bridge. Nothing. I was watching those videos. I watched those videos too. So it's not like I just watch, fun Minecraft videos and then this is the darkest thing I've ever seen. No, I'm watching all sorts of stuff. Watching creepy horror movies. Nothing. Didn't get any feeling, even watching this other negative stuff. Nothing. But watching these Predator Hunter videos, this is when this thing manifested itself into the room. In an energy, like, again, I didn't see it, but I felt it. I felt it as if a person was standing right next to me, and if a person wasn't happy with what I was watching. But we're going to cover a story like this tomorrow, but this is kind of a good segue into that. You cannot let the world of the paranormal make these small decisions for you. They can save your life, sure. But you can't go, oh, the ghost doesn't like Downton Abbey. Well, I'm not going to watch Downton Abbey. And then the ghost doesn't want me to watch Three's a Company, so I'm not going to watch Three's a Company, because eventually you're just going to be sitting in a house with no television on. You're like, this is totally different. You're watching video of horrific people talking about horrific things, real things. That's different than a ghost telling you not to watch Downton Abbey. Okay, sure, you're right. It is different. But what I'm saying is that in that moment, I did not stop watching the stuff. I was like, I'm going to keep watching these Predator Patrol videos as the ghost flames of hell are burning behind me. This guy's like summoning a giant sword to smite me. I was like, no, I'm going to keep watching these videos. I wasn't going to stop in the moment. As creeped out as I was, and as much as I felt like there was something there. For the first time, I felt uncomfortable in that room. I wasn't going to let the spirit world stop me from doing something right now. And I keep specifying that, and I'll get to that in a second. And I still felt that energy there. I didn't double down. I didn't go, oh, I'm going to open 2 web browsers and watch 2 videos at the same time, just to make it mad. I think I finished that video that I was on, and then watched something else. I don't remember if I watched another video directly after it, but I wasn't going to stop that video there. Kept playing my Minecraft. Well, the next day, I think it was the next day, I ended up shooting like a 1-minute version of this story, and I posted it on YouTube and TikTok and things like that. I tried getting it on the podcast, but it was too tricky to have to do for just 1 minute, and I figured I'd talk about it in length here. And I say, hey, I think my room might be haunted. This is what's happening. I was watching this particular type of content, and I felt this spirit, or I felt this force in the room with me. And, again, going back, Bobby's like, great, I'm glad I'm on this episode. Sorry, Bobby. I probably should have picked one of like UFOs or something. He wants all his friends to listen to the podcast. They're like, what? All he did was talk about pedophiles and ghosts and his haunted hotel room. Who hates pedophiles? Who doesn't? But you wonder if this was a spirit. This was my take. This was my take on this. Actually, something else just popped in my head, which is 10 times creepier than what I thought originally. My original thought was that this was the spirit in this room who... Oh, dude, I'm blowing my own mind right now, because I just came up with like the scariest possible scenario of what was going on. Because I'll tell you this, the rest of the time I was there, I did not watch those videos. They get kind of boring after a certain point, plus the unearthly presence hovering to my left. I didn't watch any more videos. And as a paranormal investigator, you go, well, Jason, you should have tested this. Isn't that what paranormal investigators do? Don't they want to prove that ghosts exist? Well, no. Some paranormal investigators do, for sure. I don't try to prove to someone who does not believe in ghosts that ghosts exist. That's not my job. I don't see that as my job to prove to people that things exist or don't exist. I believe they exist, and I will talk about them, and we can study them, and if you do start to believe, that's fantastic. You may go, no, I actually believe less now than what I initially believed when I started looking into ghosts, and that's fine too. But my job as a paranormal investigator specifically is not to prove to other people whether or not ghosts exist. My job is to investigate the phenomenon and to help build the breadth of knowledge about the world of the paranormal. If you don't believe in the paranormal, that's fine. I'm not out here to prove to you that this exists. If you do believe in the paranormal, all of these topics One, they're entertaining, even if you don't believe in them, they're entertaining. But two, if you do believe in them, we're creating this web. Myself, Jim Harold, all other paranormal podcasters, all other paranormal researchers, all of you guys who are also researching as well. We're just building this web of knowledge. I could have easily done this. And I think if I was younger, I might have. If I was a younger paranormal investigator. The next night, I could have reran the experiment. The next night, I could have been like, well, I was watching these horrible videos and this ghost showed up. Let's see if I can replicate it. Because that's what, science is about, is replicating it and to prove whether or not something is true. I could watch more of these videos. I could play Minecraft and see if this presence comes back. Even maybe catch it on camera. Because I have, my webcam and I have my cell phone camera and all this stuff. Maybe I can catch something. Maybe I can catch an EVP. Maybe I can provoke this spirit to showing itself once again and have a video camera aimed at that bathroom hutch area and see if we can detect any movement. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that because it's inhumane. Pete Orbia, he is the person who hosts the Port Gamble Ghost Conference up in Washington. He's a great guy. It's a great conference. If you guys in the area, swing on by. That's coming up, I think, in November. His big thing is ghosts are people too. Ghosts are people too. And that is a very interesting way to look at the phenomenon because it's true. I mean, not counting demons, not counting cryptids or anything like that. When we talk about the spirits of dead people, they are human. They may not be biologically human, but as what we know as the human soul, that is still in play. And while some paranormal investigators, and I'm not going to badmouth them, right, because they are pushing the science ahead in their own way, you may go, there's probably a less mean way to do it, but some paranormal investigators will go in a house and they'll try to rile up the spirits. They'll be like, so apparently in this house, Reginald Von Reginald in 1808 had a peanut allergy and he ate a peanut and he dropped dead on the spot. They didn't know what allergies were back then. You just ate something and you swelled up like a balloon and died. And ever since then, Reginald's ghost will kind of be walking around aimlessly, gasping for air. But we haven't had proof of Reginald's old ghost for the past 50 years, so we're going to fill this house full of peanuts. We got peanuts from all over the world. Brazilian peanuts. Those actually Brazilian nuts. He's like, oh, whatever. Just pour the nuts. There's nuts from all over the world. Macadamians are coming through the upstairs window. We're going to force Reginald's spirit to come back. We're going to antagonize him. Ghost Hunter's wearing a shirt made of peanut butter. He's all being eaten by ants. He's like, this is paranormal. Get it on camera. Antagonizing ghosts to make them appear. Listen, I did stuff like that when I was younger. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to say that I will never do stuff like that again. But you try not to. And the way that you look at it is imagine if you died and your ghost was trapped in a hotel room and someone was antagonizing you. It's the same thing as if you were just sitting in a hotel room and a guy walked in and started antagonizing you. From your point of view, it's the same thing. Ghost or not, it's just kind of irritating. But I could have. I 100% thought about it. I could probably set up some cameras. I mean, they're not the greatest quality cameras. But I could try to provoke this thing. Watch these videos and have these cameras set up. But then I go, it's inhumane. It's inhumane, I thought. Because what I feel like it was, I'll be honest, Bobby, I don't think we're getting to the glove story. The one gave it away. Whoops, not a glove. It's a floating hand. I don't think we're going to get to the floating hand story, Bobby. We're going to have you back tomorrow to fly the Carpenter copter. Because I got to wrap this up. But this is a good story, I think, to start the show off again after the break. I'm so glad to be back. What I think it was, and what I think a lot of you guys are thinking it was as well, was the spirit of a victim. The spirit of a victim of these horrible crimes, because to be honest, a lot of this stuff happens at hotels. A lot of these sex crimes happen at hotels. So much so that I think it's the FBI, it might be Interpol, has that website. I've talked about it before on the show. Where when you go to a hotel, you can take photos of your room and then you upload them to this website because they'll match them against images found in child porn. That, child porn filmed in a hotel room somewhere. They don't know exactly where. Which, it's funny because that kind of came into play, not that particular setup, but recently we did that story about that Alaskan serial killer. And one of the ways that they knew who to arrest was the carpet in the video. He videotaped his murders. The carpet in the video, they knew that man stayed at that hotel recently. That wasn't the only piece of evidence, right? You're all super paranoid. You're all tearing up the carpeting. You're like, I'd like a room, please, with easily removable carpeting. They're like, what? That wasn't the only thing. They also had, a cell phone of him murdering people and the sound of his voice. He had a very distinct accent, but Interpol has that, or FBI has that website where when you go to a hotel room, take photos of everything and then you upload them, and maybe they can get a little bit closer to finding one of these perpetrators. That was my first guess. I didn't really think about it too much while it was going on because it's happening. In the light of day, I thought, what if that was the ghost of a sexual assault victim? What was that? Because all of these videos are about pedophiles. They're all trying to meet these 13-year-olds. What if that was the ghost of a victim? And that would make sense why they were upset at the content of these videos. And what was weird too, it wasn't when I popped in the first video this happened. I was playing the videos, I'm watching them as I'm playing Minecraft, and it wasn't the first video, but it almost, something's like, dude, seriously, like another one? Come on, man, how many videos can you watch? This thing's manifesting in the corner, and they're like, dude, if he hits play on one more video, that's it, I'm coming around the corner. It happened over a matter of videos. It wasn't like instant. Made me feel unwelcome. And that's what I thought. And that was another reason why I didn't want to mess with it. Didn't want to try to induce it into reappearing. I go, dude, if this is the ghost of some sexual assault victim, I'm not gonna relive that trauma. I'm not going to redo this the next night with a bunch of video cameras and lighting equipment to try to goad this ghost to coming back if that is the case. And I will say, after that night, by the time the next night rolled around, because, I had that happen late at night, it totally creeped me out. I finished the video I was on. I didn't go right to bed. I stayed up, just watched some different stuff, stayed up playing Minecraft. The next night, I was getting a little worried. I was like, you know what, I really like staying up late at night and just kind of hanging out. I go, I'm not going to watch these videos. I'm not going to try to catch it on camera or anything like that. I go, but I hope I didn't, make this place unbearably creepy. Hope I didn't kind of start a chain of events that's going to be... Because I'm still going to be here for quite a few days. I don't want to have to I don't want to have to hang out with my family. I like hanging out in a hotel room that's 62 degrees at all times. And the next night's perfectly fine. Next night, sitting in the same spot, staying up just as late, eating the same garbage. The only difference was I wasn't watching those videos. I was watching true crime videos, I was watching horror movies, I was watching Magic the Gathering stuff, playing Minecraft. Everything else was the same. Never felt uncomfortable. Great night's sleep. Never felt uncomfortable in that place again. I actually added a night. Because I realized I was going to have to spend at least one day with my family. I go, can I get one more night, sir? Can I get one more night in this hotel? Yeah, sure. Now, it's funny, I said, here's the thing, again, about ghost hunting. We'll wrap this episode up real quick here. Is that on the one hand, I do not want to replicate the experiment. On the other hand, I would suggest you guys don't either. I'm not the paranormal police. I can't force you not to. I don't recommend it. So you go, Jason, well, then why did you tell us what hotel it was and what the hotel room number is? Well, part of it is because I trust you guys. That you guys are all booking the room up for the next 3 years. I trust you guys. I don't think you guys would go out and do anything to kind of egg this entity on. And as a paranormal researcher, I don't want to say, I'm sure, again, I can't say this is a hard and fast rule. I don't want to talk about, I had this paranormal adventure, but I don't want any of you to have it, so I'm not going to tell you guys exactly where it happened. A lot of times I may not remember where it happened, but I don't think any of you guys would rush out to kind of mess with this thing. But I do want to give you the information, so as paranormal researchers, now we can say that hotel room may be haunted. However, this is the thought that popped in my head a couple minutes ago where I go, oh my god, I never even thought about this. And this makes it 10 times more terrifying. I assume, like you assume, the ghost... I mean, maybe you didn't assume this. I think it's really, really interesting. It doesn't mean anything whether or not you assumed one thing or the other, but I assumed that the ghost was of a victim, which is a very sad story. I don't know if the person died in that hotel room. Sometimes your ghost can haunt a... let me back up here. I hope that's not the case. I'm like, this is the greatest night's sleep I've ever had. Oh, it's so comfortable. So comfortable in this room. I don't want to think that someone was murdered in my room. Sometimes you can haunt a place you never died in. Honestly, sometimes you can haunt a place even when you're still alive. Just the raw emotional energy can appear. Even though you're still alive and hopefully living a much better life than may would have happened in that hotel room. Just thought a raw emotional energy may still be trapped there. That's what my mind was thinking when I kind of started processing all of this stuff. And I'm sure that's what a lot of you guys were thinking. But as I was saying this, this spirit did not like what I was watching, because the spirit is predator hunters meeting up with these sickos in Walmart. It's always Walmart, right? They must love this show. Walmart's like, oh man, can't you go to Target or something like that? Myself, much like the viewing audience, were repulsed by these people. And the spirit manifested because they were being repulsed by the pedophile as well. And it was bringing back some bad memories. And it was manifesting, basically, to show its displeasure. That's how I thought the story was. Up until, 10, 15 minutes ago when I was like, dude, I blew my own mind. Because then I thought, there's two types of people who... I don't even know how to say this. Okay, there's the scenario I just laid out, where it's the ghost of the victim, or the emotional energy of a previous victim, or something happened to somebody. Somebody got raped, sexually assaulted, and that's this emotional energy. And they're repulsed by the dude. And I just thought of this. I go, what if my hotel room was haunted by a pedophile? Like, what if this pedophile ghost was manifesting and was mad that the videos existed? He wasn't mad at the pedophile in the video, he was mad at the predator hunters. He's like, what? That's so unjust. He said, not me, I'm not saying that, but him, the ghost. It occurred to me as I was doing this, and here's the thing, I do not think that's the case. But I did think about that. I go, wow, what if it was actually showing its displeasure not at the disgusting man, but at the predator hunters? It's this force that's emanating this evil energy saying, what? Look at that guy. He's just on his way to go snowboarding. And he stopped off at Walmart to buy a snowboard. And these predator hunters stopped him. He's an innocent man, the pedophile ghost says. And then I start the next video and he's like, what? Okay, that guy's guilty. However, the pedophile ghost continues on and on with his twisted logic. That makes the story 10 times creepier. I did not even think about that. To be fair, had that thought crossed my mind while I was there, if I go, dude, what if this place is haunted by the ghost of a pedophile? And he's not mad at the pedophiles in the videos, but he's mad at the predator hunters. Bobby, I'm so sorry. He's like tearing his shirt up, he's burning, and he's like, wow, I hadn't heard one of these episodes yet. What was it's so insane, but I mean, like, you couldn't sleep in that hotel room. I would have asked for another room. I would have said, Can I get another room? I'm here for another couple days. Do you have another room? And they'll ask, yeah, sure, why? Is it unclean? I was like, no, it's really clean. Like, is the bed comfortable? I'm like, most comfortable bed I've ever slept in, sir. And they're like, okay, well, what is it? And I go, well, I might be a little off the mark here, but I think my bedroom's being haunted by a pedophile. And, the clerk may kind of give me a side glance, being like, what? And then go, well, he's a paying customer. And hand me keys to a new room. And I move. Or the clerk may look at me. None of these things happened, by the way. I feel bad. Now I really feel bad. I say what hotel this was. You're like, oh, going on Yelp, you're all pedophile ghosts. 1 star. I go down to the clerk, and what if I did go down there and I go, hey man, I think there's a ghost of a pedophile in my room. And the guy goes, we got a lot of complaints about that on Yelp. Got a lot of 1 stars. People were trying to get 0 stars. Here's a new key, sir. Sorry about that. And then, like, they don't even flinch. They're like, yeah, that kind of happens. Again, let me be clear. I don't think that's the case. Do not think that there's a pedophile ghost. But I'll wrap it up like this. I think what's so interesting about that part of the story, because again, that had never occurred to me until I started recording this, is that there are so many little biases when it comes to the world of paranormal. Like, I assumed that the ghost or whatever it was a victim. Definitely didn't like what I was watching. It may not have been a direct victim. It may have just someone who thought that was disgusting. They're like, why are you watching this? I mean, yes, it is fun to watch vigilantes expose injustice, but yeah, you're like on your 7th video tonight, dude. Can't you find something else? Could have been that. Could have been, I do think it was a spirit that was positive overall. But that's my bias. That was my bias. Because obviously I'm watching content where you're exposing evil. And maybe it was just exposing it a little too much. Because I want to obviously watch that YouTube. And I don't often, I go in fits and spurts. It's been months since the last time I saw some of this stuff. But I wouldn't watch that with certain friends of mine. Actually, I wouldn't watch that with any friends of mine. I was like, hey, bro, what are you doing, man? Why don't you come over Friday night? I got an awesome YouTube channel I want to show you. They're like, what? You know what I mean, though? There's definitely people in your life that you would not show those videos to. You probably wouldn't even bring it up. So I have these biases. I go, oh, this essence, this entity doesn't like what I'm watching. Maybe it was a victim. Maybe it, was close to victim. I don't even know. I don't even know if someone died in this hotel room. It's all so new. It all was happening just then and never happened again. And also, like, my biases where I was saying I don't let spirits tell me what to do. I think that's probably something that I don't know if I've ever addressed before on this show, but that's going to be a good segue in tomorrow's episode, and Bobby will have you back. Is what happens when you do. Some people do it slightly, whether it's something like having your fortune told. That's not really spirits, but let's broaden it out to paranormal. Astrology, having your fortune told, palm reading, divination, tarot cards, all that stuff. That's kind of a third-party paranormal interaction. Then you could do something like a Ouija board, where you're directly contacting the spirits yourself. People use these things sometimes as party tricks, but a lot of times, especially like the tarot cards and the astrology, to make big decisions. And while some people may feel more comfortable doing that, I don't recommend ever taking personal advice from the spirit world, especially when it comes to Ouija boards or even a spirit appearing before you and giving you advice. Guardian angels, yes, there's a little bit of an exception there. That is one of my rules. I don't let my decisions be based on what the spirit world tells me, on messages I receive from beyond. Because it is a slippery slope. It is a slippery, slippery slope. But we're going to take a look at a kind of a creepy version of that. You're like, what, Jason, this episode was pretty creepy. I don't know if you can top it. we'll take a look at that. But yeah, the biases we have in ghost hunting that we carry over. And so I made a bunch of assumptions, and it wasn't until I was recording this, I was like, oh, maybe some of these, maybe I was off the mark. I do think that I was correct, that this was the spirit of... just quit talking about it, man. I know you're getting ready to wrap up the episode. I don't know how depressed or creeped out you could make me. Yeah, crazy stuff, though. Felt great the rest of the time I was there. I would give it 4 or 5 stars, however the max is on Yelp. I would not mention any of this in my review. I probably should write a review. The stuff was great. But anyways, a crazy time off. It was very restful for me outside of that. You're like, didn't sound restful. Sound like you were terrified for your life for at least one night. No, very restful. I'm really happy to be back doing the show. I feel like I'm coming at it with a new zest and a new... What's the word? Rigor? Is that a word? I feel like I'm I feel like I'm zesty. I feel like I'm a bath soap. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm back. I really needed that break, so I'm glad you guys are back with me. We'll have you back, Bobby, for tomorrow's episode. deadrabbitradio@gmail.com is going to be our email address. You can also hit us up at facebook.com/deadrabbitradio. TikTok is @deadrabbitradio. Dead Rabbit Radio is the daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime podcast. You don't have to listen to it every day, but I'm glad you listened to it today. Have a great one, guys.